Thank you for joining the Reverend Dr. Sean Michael Greener, radio host, national pastor, author, and speaker for Sundays with Dr. Sean. Hold on tight. Here comes the truth.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to everybody. Thank you for joining. Got a lot of activity in the house today, so pardon the interruptions. The Bible Summary for Real People, Amazon.com. I'll put the link to buy the book, $7.99. This is my other book, also on Amazon. This is my first book, Excellence Killed the Church, How Mediocrity is Destroying America. Here's the little back page on this. Fair warning and disclaimer, you might become quite angry while reading this book. So many speakers and authors nuance and adjust for political correctness, what they think and feel. You may have been anesthetized by their gumdrops and lollipops lovey-dovey genteel manner. This is not an everyone gets a trophy feel good about me book. This is the real deal, our authentic condition, and my assessment as to why we're here and what to do. There will be other books in my series, the one I'm mentioning now. By the end of my series, I hope to make you mad enough to do something. Throw the book, scream at the book, maybe even kick the book, but not at the dog or cat. I am hoping you become angry and fed up enough to do something, anything to stop the bleeding in this country. No pressure, but it really is up to you. 2012, I wrote that book. And I was right. Let me read to you the back. There are many great, heady, scholarly, this is from this one, heady, scholarly Bible commentaries and Bible summaries widely available. The Bible Summary for Real People is the result of my 34th and likely last reading of the Holy Bible. The realization that this will be the last time I read this entire Bible caused a paradigm shift in my heart and mind. I guess it's a lot like a fantastic meal you know you only enjoy one last time. You take your time, you really enjoy every bite, chewing every bite with reverence and respect. Maybe a better analogy is that cherished person who you adore and respect above all others. How closely do you listen to what you have come to realize is your last conversation with that treasured soul? One last conversation, every word sweeter than the last. This is the conversation you savor and remember forever, hanging on every word. This is what this time reading through the Bible means to me. Each time reading through the Bible, God always seemed to reveal more of the secrets of the sacred works to me, but this time in a simpler and more practical way. This is the Bible Summary for real people living a real life. I believe this summary will speak to you where you are in your life, that you will enjoy the revelations God shared with me that I now share with you. So I encourage you to get the book. That's what this NOTFlix series is all about. And get the book. And hey, Bonnie in Arizona, thank you for joining. Get the book, read it, and then write a review. Super important. Also, I want to say hello to my Spreaker audience. Love y'all. Good to have you. A good bunch. Yep, loud too. I like that. I like that about you. Go ahead, get your clap on. Like it, like it. Love it. Y'all are awesome. Not really. It's just a little thing, sound effect thing. Oh no. I ducked that one. Anywho, so here's the thing. Spreaker, S-P-R-E-A-K-E-R, like speaker but with an R. S-P-R. That's all you got to remember. And I'm on there. I have the link there in the thing at the end of the broadcast. While you're there, just click on that. Click on follow. I'd really love it if you do that. Very important, because now the number of listeners that we have has gone above the number where I can qualify for monetizing, which means I get a fractional share from the clicks. So in other words, I might get 1/4 of 1 penny for every subscriber that clicks in. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot, and it really isn't. But every little bit helps, because anything that can help pay for our broadcasting costs and all that stuff, the better. Anywho, so you go to Spreaker.com, look up Dr. Sean Michael Greener, and it'll be pretty cool if you do that. And then I'll be able to, I'll be excited to see you on there too. You can leave comments, you can leave all those things. The other cool thing about it is we have an app we paid for, iPhone and Android phones. Very simple. do any following or anything like that. It doesn't track you. We have none of that stuff. It's a simple app. It was expensive for us to do, but we give it to you for free. So if you go to the App Store or I don't know what you call it, Google Play maybe is where all your apps are on Android phones. Well, whatever, you know what it is. You go there and click on The Ninja Pastor. If you type in The Ninja Pastor or The Collision of Faith and Politics or Dr. Shawn Michael Greener, Shawn, S-H-A-W-N, you go there, boom, you get that. You're automatically in like Flynn. You'll get notified every time I'm online or anytime I'm speaking, recording, whatever. And click on follow, and you'll be good to go. That's very helpful. That will help our ministry. So anyway, because I'd like to also resume sending out Bibles. I'd like to buy a couple cases of Bibles and send them out. Thank you to my dear friends in Tucson for sending me this. It's a law enforcement Bible. That's really incredible. And then I have a Bible. I can't reach it from here because I'm tethered. That was given to me by a friend. Published in 1860 or 1870. 1860, I think. Yeah, crazy. I'll show it to you sometime. I'll have it over here. It's very delicate, but I'm excited. You guys know I collect different types of Bibles and love that. Love lots of study Bibles, commentary Bibles, all those things. My favorite translations are English Standard Version, ESV, New American Standard Bible, NASB. I like the Tree of Life version, TLV. I like the Complete Jewish Bible, CJB, and I like that in the Study Bible format. I like the NKJV, which is the New King James, and I have some Study Bibles, and I have some Thompson's Chain Reference and different things in that. I just love them. I love them. All kinds of different Bibles. I think what a fantastic opportunity to read God's Word. Anyway, all that said to say this, I want to share some quick things with you, and we're going to jump right in to Famous Amos. This is episode 22, Famous Amos. I love the book of Amos. Most people just buzzsaw through it. Hey, Miss Nancy. People buzzsaw through Amos. You miss out. I've said it a million times. You cannot fully grasp and fully enjoy the New Testament, Brit Hadashah, until you read the Old Testament. That's the foundation. They lay the foundation. And in order to understand the New Testament, you have to have some understanding of the Old Testament. And it will make it such a richer experience for you, you just don't even know. And listen, when I was a kid, I was like, the Old Testament. But I got to tell you, I had a Sunday school teacher. She had flannel graph. She went to town. That flannel graph came to life, and she told Bible stories, and I loved it. It was really awesome. And so I enjoyed the Old Testament. But anyway, so people have been asking me, what do I think about Lieutenant General Flynn, the charges being dropped by the DOJ? Well, now, of course, the ultra-liberal judge has taken a political, hey, Miss Julie, has taken the political stand that he's going to try to block it. Well, you need to understand who this guy is. He's super liberal, super liberal. And he doesn't care if it tanks his career, because probably somebody's promised him a little something if he can slow this down. They want to delay what Flynn will release when he is fully released and fully exonerated. They want to delay that. Now, Adam Schiff, where Adam Schiff comes in, where James Comey comes in, where Barack Obama comes in. You need to understand that Adam Schiff, Barack Obama, James Comey, all of that, they are in the thick of it. Barack Obama not only knew about it, but he ordered it. And so all of these different things. Also, Adam Schiff knew in the very beginning that based on the FBI's investigation, there was not any evidence of collusion. Not that there wasn't enough to convict. There was none. He proceeded anyway, squashing that. There's all kinds of paperwork that will come out now that Lieutenant General Flynn will release. Some of it by Grinnell, Director of National Intelligence. I happen to know him, Richard Grinnell, great guy. Hey, Robbie, good to have you join. Mr. Grinnell is one of the most awesome people, former ambassador to Germany, really incredible guy. You remember the hue and cry surrounding his appointment to DNI was, well, he has no experience. It was no experience at all. It's like putting the bread department guy in charge of the CIA. You know, so I just want you to understand. I want you to understand that it's very, very important. Hey, Arlene, it's very important that you understand what the deal is here, right? You need to understand that the rats are running. The rats are running, and because, and I want you to understand too. Again, this cannot be emphasized enough. Former President Barack Obama was behind it all. Now, did we know that? Yes. Now we have proof. This helps you to understand why James Comey and all these other players here, Richard Struck and Lisa Page and all these people hated Donald Trump. They were also very in the tank for Hillary Clinton. Anybody but Trump, as long as it's Hillary Clinton. So here's where that stands, right? Where that stands is, and this is important that you have an understanding of this. The reason they came after Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, stellar 3-decade record, the United States Marine Corps, one of the best of the best, highly decorated, really a Marine's Marine, blue collar guy, you know, all this, and not a fan necessarily of Donald Trump in the beginning. So anyway, he learns of certain things that are explosively damning against many on the left, many in Barack Obama's administration, many on the left in Congress, but more than that, damning evidence against former President Barack Obama, then president, who, what will come out, we're going to take care of this judge. He's probably going to be impeached in some way or another. Yes, you can impeach a judge, a Supreme Court judge. Everybody thinks that Supreme Court appointment is for life, and that's totally binding and tenured and all that stuff. Completely not true. There have been more Supreme Court justices impeached than have presidents. All that said to say, and I mean actually impeached. What happened with President Trump wasn't an actual impeachment. Yes, they filed articles of impeachment. They went from the House to the Senate, but they were never, they didn't pass. They didn't succeed. Pelosi can say all she wants. Well, you can't change it. He's been impeached. We impeached him. Blah, 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 blah. Just bouncing mouths. Don't pay any mind to that. The reason why all of Barack Obama's soldiers are jumping in front of trains and bullets for him is because when this goes down, Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, the key. All right, let's deal with an argument that has been circulating all over social media, all over news outlets, that the president has violated some law. He's obstructed justice once again. All of these different things. The president had nothing to do with this. This was Attorney General Barr, researched the case, had the best of the best attorneys and constitutional research, all these different things, but also researching the actual investigation. Well, I'm here to tell you, that's when they found a lot of this damning evidence. You might say, another part of the argument is, well, Flynn has already pled guilty. Why did Flynn plead guilty? General Flynn pled guilty because in addition to bankrupting him, they literally bankrupted him. It's pretty cool. There's a hawk flying over, a crane flying over, a giant blue heron, and a fighter jet. All in the same shot. If you could get it all in the same shot, that'd be amazing. I call the giant blue herons, those giant things, I call them pterodactyls. It's so funny. That's what they look like to me. Anyway, and now there's an osprey. Activity, boy. Anywho, people are making a fuss over he pled guilty, but they were wrecking this guy. He's gone bankrupt. He's lost everything. He's millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars in debt, legal fees and all this stuff. They did this on purpose. That's kind of a crooked Fed technique, is to bankrupt you, is to demean your name, impugn your character, all of these things, to do all these things. and bust the bank. And then, if that doesn't work, then they go after your family. Well, that's what they were doing with him. He said finally, all right, I'll plead guilty. Well, people say, well, Mike Pence, Vice President Pence, he was advocating him being fired for that. You have to understand that in that case, he had to be fired. He had to be fired. He also understood that the Trump campaign is going to work, the Trump administration is going to work very hard on exposing the evidence. So what happens next? Impeachment. So that's why the impeachment trials happened the way that they did, why they tried to drag it out, why the delays, all of these things. So now you understand the backstory. There's a lot more detail to it, but you don't need the detail. You just need to know the time, the chronology of it, to understand this is why this has happened in this way. So now that you know that, the reason for this, the really powerful reason for this, is because Lieutenant General Michael Flynn and the papers that will then be released. Now, I mentioned about Grinnell, Richard Grinnell. Great guy, super smart, literal genius. Richard Grinnell, openly gay, first openly gay ambassador, first openly gay intelligence official to command an intelligence post. He's an awesome, awesome guy. He's brilliant. He's funny. Did I mention he's brilliant? He's very thoughtful. He's not just super smart. He's very thoughtful. And you can't scare the guy. He's tough as nails. Anyway, and again, I want you to understand, he wasn't a huge Trump fan in the beginning either. You know, until he really paid attention. Wait a second, this guy's not anti-LGBT. Where's this coming from? He realized, once he gave him a chance, wait a second, it's not this guy at all. So, there we are with that. Grinnell went, I think it was yesterday, this morning or yesterday afternoon, had a satchel of papers. Those papers are confidential papers. That's why the people that were with him, yes, he has an entourage of security people and assistants, stuff like that. But more important than that, some of those people have to be there with him because they are classified documents. They are currently classified. He is declassifying them. He had to take them there to do that, do all the different things that have to be done from a top secret level. That being said, now you understand why the rats are scurrying. So you're going to see a massive denial, and you're going to see more stuff hurled at Pence. You're going to see more stuff hurled at Flynn. You're going to see people throwing their coats down over the puddle for President Obama, Comey, all of the different players, Strzok, Schiff, all of these different people. How the mighty have fallen. This is coming. I know you've heard that before from a lot of people, but you haven't heard a lot from me. I'm telling you, the steps are in place, the players are in place, the hearts and minds are in place. It's going to start crumbling. Now, will that be the joyous event that we all kind of imagine in our mind? No. Because there's going to be a lot of explosion and dynamic there's going to be a lot of stuff, there's going to be a lot of heat. There's going to be a lot of collateral damage. There's going to be a lot of push and pull. There's going to be some violence. There's going to be some wild allegations, all of these things, because the left is in a corner. They can't get out. It's going to be a whirlpool in the swamp. Thank you, Bonnie. Phenomenal analogy. What a perfect metaphor. A whirlpool in the swamp. That will be there. And the left, if you think they're bad so far, wait till you see what they do. Why is timing important? The election, Donald Trump is not doing this so that he will be reelected. Donald Trump is doing this because justice delayed is justice denied. Justice delayed is justice denied. President Trump knew when he was coming into office through people he had. Now, of course, I have guys that worked for Executive Protection Team that are right next to him on the Secret Service. And so, by the way, they love him. They adore him. They adore Pence. They adore the families. Melania, Barron, all of them. They just love them. And they're great people to work for. I got to sneeze. You know, I ever have to sneeze? I hate that. I hate sneezing on the air anyway. Anyhow, so understand that the timing of it is that one of the reasons why there's so many delay tactics on the left is because they feel the closer to election they can put this, the less time to get it out to the entire American public. As I've said many times, right here, Collision of Faith and Politics, I've said this, that the left doesn't care how much they have to lie. They don't care about collateral damage. They don't care about any of that. They don't care about people's lives, their reputation, any of that. They don't care. It does not matter to them. And you need to understand that it doesn't matter to them, and they will stop at nothing. So my encouragement to you is stop going on to the internet and saying, now, if this was conservatives doing this, they'd be already in jail, and the press would already be saying, stop with the whole, we're so maligned. Change your focus. I've said this before. Stop reposting things that are the left saying something that is untrue. Stop posting the links. Understand that when you do that, and somebody clicks on USA Today, somebody clicks on CNN.com, somebody clicks on whatever they're clicking on, that makes money and that keeps them aloft. It's why you need to understand that there are spoofs on the internet. There are fake people that are really just rooms full of people paid by the left to post things. Some of the things they post are out and out lies. They're complete and utter lies. They know that. Some of them appear to be pro-conservative, but are obvious lies. They're not true. Completely inaccurate. And some of them are just crazy, like, wild KKK stuff and stuff like that. Racist stuff. Understand that that's the left posting them, pretending to be someone on the right. They're not. It's a bunch of fake profiles and all this stuff. They're being paid by Soros. They're being paid by the Democratic National Committee. They're being paid by big, powerful Democrats. Liberals. So in understanding that, I need you to understand also that when you forward that, when you say, send this, isn't this something? This is stupid. How about these jerks? Aren't they contradictory? Aren't they hypocrites? I get it. I get why you're doing it. Stop doing it. Because you're funding them. You're empowering them every time you do it. Because it doesn't matter what you write in that little space on Facebook. What matters is that article stays at the top, stays at the top, stays at the top. You don't want that. You want it to fade into obscurity. I know, it's very difficult. So take a copy a line from it, not a link. Don't put a link to it. You say, well, that's not proper footnoting. Save that stuff to your notes or whatever on your computer, whatever Microsoft has, clipboard or whatever. Save that stuff to there. So if somebody says, oh, you're full of crap, you just get off of Fox for 10 seconds, you'll see the world is blah, blah, blah. Whatever, dude. You're not writing a scientific paper. Nothing you put down is ever going to convince them. So stop thinking that you have to do that. The back of my book, my first book had just as many pages of footnotes. You see, the back of my book is, it's all kinds of stuff. Anyway, because I like that, too much. I like it too much. You don't have to do that in social media. Understand that. Just keep the thing there. Make a note of when you post it, but do not put the link on there. Because when you do that, you boost them, broader audience. If it's a fake article, it's not true, they're real good at this, then damage is already done. Now, instead of making fun of each other, I defriended a guy, very smart guy. His name is Steven. A couple years ago, I defriended the guy. He's an excellent author, very young guy, because he would ridicule fellow conservatives. Hey, Lynette. Hey, JR, Cindy, how are you? He would ridicule them instead of privately coming alongside them saying, hey, what you're posting, I was tempted to post that, and I learned that it's not true. That it's a fake thing, fake article. It's whatever, clickbait or whatever. So I thought I'd let you know that. Instead of doing that privately, he would do it publicly and ridicule them. So that doesn't help us either, because that's what they want to do. The article may have been planted by somebody that just wants that to happen. You say, why would they want to spread something that's pro-conservative? Really and truly, they want an article that's incorrect as it relates to inaccurate article. They want to spread that because if they spread that, at certain point when it's hit 26 million views or 100 million views, they will then expose it. And then that demeans the whole thing on a much grander scale. Now, let's get to the pandemic video. Remember I said, and I've posted it, if you go to my page, I've posted it by itself. I've posted in the comments of NOTFlix. I posted it in yesterday's show in the comments section. So it's there. It's very long. I don't want to put it in the top, but in the comments, you can go there, copy it, and paste it. They've taken it off of every social media platform there is. After millions and millions and millions of views, it's been taken off. Facebook, Twitter, any social media platform, including YouTube. So now you understand who is pulling the strings at all those different social media platforms and why it's important to understand their game and to work against them. This is a strategy that you employ that is counter. It is counter to what you would think. It's counterintuitive. So where you would think, well, I'm going to post this. Look at what they're doing. Don't do it. Don't do it. Remember what I said. Take a snippet of the article that really torques you. Make sure you know who wrote it. Say, put an odd, because their algorithms and their all their stuff. You never see. Bonnie's exactly right. You never see liberal posts being yanked ever, 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 ever. It just doesn't happen. Sometimes they will post them that are very benign, and then you'll see a walk back and then a statement saying that this was an editorial mistake and that it was posted by accident or before it didn't go through normal review. It's a BS apology or retraction. So I want to say this, and then I'll get right to my thing. So it is very difficult to go against what you're drawn, what your intuition is I'm gonna post this, I'm gonna expose them, and it's gonna go. Because we get likes too, we say that it's not about likes and not about shares, but it is about likes and it is about shares. And those things are what gets liked and shared, especially if you're one of the early adopters to that, and you send it, and then everybody shares it from your page, and that bumps up your algorithm and all that stuff. Let that go. It's not real money. It's monopoly money. None of us really are getting monetized return for our Facebook, right? So there's a lady I know. Her name is Nicole Arbor, and I've talked to her. My son and I were on our way down to North Carolina and talked to her. She's a very fantastic girl. Yes, she has crude language. Yes, she's a beautiful woman. She wears revealing things some of the time, a lot of the time. That's her shtick. That's what she does. She's from Canada, but she loves America, and she's really standing up. Which takes me to, so, if you can handle that kind of thing, if you're not real tender, then not a bad thing to have. Hey, Peter. Hey, Joe. So that takes me to this, and then I'm going to go into Amos, famous Amos. So understand that Matthew McConaughey, now I think Matthew McConaughey is a fantastic actor. I think he's a compelling guy on a lot of different levels. You guys know Denzel is my favorite actor, but Matthew McConaughey is pretty darn good actor. We can argue that. So Matthew is by no means a conservative. So he's being labeled a conservative by a lot of people who don't really understand. Also means that he's not necessarily full-on liberal. He lives in Austin, Texas, went to UT Austin. He's he works in Hollywood. I mean, that's what he does. However, he has, little by little, started coming out about his faith. He started being more vocal about his faith, and that we should give Donald Trump a chance. He's just come out about why is it the left is pro-mask, pro-gloves, pro being shut down, staying shut down till forever, or at least until we vote Donald Trump out. And then the conservatives are the ones, we got to go back to work. I'm not wearing a darn mask. You're full of crap type of thing. He said, why is that? Why are the people that hate Trump are the left? And why is this? Why is it so delineated among political lines? Both sides of the aisle. He is getting crushed by the left because of that. Remember, I'm in this think tank, and there's only about 54, I think 50 or 54 people in it. They're actors, directors, Nashville recording artists, like famous directors, like really, really top-notch directors, top-notch artists, high-level physicians, radio talent, TV talent, internationally known people. And I got in on a mulligan. I was a pity vote. So anyway, these are really sharp people. I can't tell you the name of it because it's secret, but they can't say their feelings because they lose jobs. Now, I've said this before, if a leftist works for a conservative, the leftist, as long as they do their work, will never be bothered. He or she will always be respected. You're right to say what you think, but you do your job, do your work. Don't ever speak that stuff saying you represent me, but you work here, I'll pay you, you do a good job. So, with that being said, the inverse is not true. You know it is, I know it is, we all know it is. The inverse is not true. If a leftist runs a company and there's conservatives that speak out, or they're obviously conservative, they'll pay for it. Well, in Hollywood, as you know, and in entertainment, as you know, used to be Nashville, country music wasn't that way. That's changed. Now, if you speak out, you're going to be drummed out. So we're fair on that. We're clear on that. So what we do is we bear burdens. Hey, Michael, good to see you. We bear burdens. We bear burdens for ourselves. We bear burdens of each other. And we are in this very unique position of we can either help bear the burden or we can contribute to the burden. Well, that's what I love about the Bible. It's so timely. Yesterday's message, that just fit that way. I didn't plan it that way. Yesterday's message fit the narrative of what's going on in America and around the world today. But really, I'm focusing on America. Even though we have an international audience, I'm not demeaning anybody outside of the United States of America, but I speak to what happens here. I need you to understand that our president is indeed president of the United States. He's not the president of the world. We have impact on the world. Well, that's the same way I feel. I do have a strong international following. Again, love y'all, but I'm speaking to America as it relates to these topics because I can't speak on your governance, nor would I. I can speak on my own. So the book of the Bible we're at now, season 1, episode 2 of NOTFlix, is the book Amos. Amos, the name Amos, which means burden bearer in Hebrew. Isn't that something? Burden bearer. Amos wrote the book. 755 to 750. It was written over the course of 5 years. Number of chapters, 9. It's not a long book. To whom was it written? The northern kingdom of Israel. The purpose, simply stated. Some of my purposes are long. Thank you, dear. Love you, Karen. Say hey to your man for me. Say hey to your little grandbaby, too. Give her a big kiss from Dr. Sean. Precious little girl. To pronounce God's just judgment on his sinful people. It's simple. This is what it is. It's about to pronounce God's just judgment on sinful people. God is not as vengeance as he is just. He's not as vengeful as he is just. He's not hateful. He's just. If you want him to judge you fairly and righteously, he has to judge on both sides of it. So there's that. To pronounce God's judgments on sinful people. Amos is unique because he was a poor herdsman in Judah. However, he traveled to where the rich people spent their leisure time to tell them of their iniquities and the price to be paid for disobedience to God. Now, I want you to understand, there ain't anything easy about that, right? Nothing easy. Amos spoke mostly against the social and economic sins of Israel, while he, a poor man caring for a poor man's fruit, was answering the call of God without question. He didn't question it, he just did it. We understand clearly from Amos's ministry that caring for the poor and disadvantaged is an important mission of Christ followers, far more so than to build expansive church buildings and softball and basketball leagues and afternoon tea clubs. Today, the great churches need to be aware of the motivation to provide new programs that do not address the social needs of their communities, while they do provide recreation for those already blessed. Amos knew then what we should know now. We don't need another church basketball league, while it's fun. while it can be a blessing, while hundreds of children in a 5-mile radius of that church have no winter coats in the bitter cold or no food. Yes, you don't think that's happening in America. It most assuredly is. Amos was very clear to the people of his time, and following that, judgment is coming, and it was a judgment of fire upon a sinful people. We in America could well heed that same warning today. Many of the people in our country have many opulent homes, while many of the poor have no place to call home. Materialism is not a new sin. Amos called us out in 755 BC, and we still have not learned. Now, let me say this about that. I am not one of those people that is envious to wealthy, successful people. I'm not. I believe, and I know these people personally, I've protected many of them, some of the most prominent people in the world, powerful people, that understanding that these people have worked hard for what they have. I envy them from the standpoint of, wow, man, that's cool. And I try to emulate them, say, well, what did they do? You know, how'd they get so successful? I live across the street from a over $2 million home. And then multi-million-dollar homes to my left and multi-million-dollar homes to my right. And I'm this little tiny house. You know, I don't look at them and go, well, aren't they lucky? Well, they worked hard. Yeah, maybe some of them are lucky, but they worked hard. I know what it's like because I've been with those people. I've been with CEOs of multinational corporations, Fortune 10 companies. And these CEOs are working 16, 18-hour days. And it's all on them. Stock price, retirement plan. People, so much is on them. Do all of them take it sincerely and seriously? No. They don't all. But most of them do. And I've been around them. I've been around their families. And some are great, some aren't so great. But the point is, they make a great sacrifice in order to have that. Is their compensation crazy sometimes? Yeah. But so are football players. So are football players, so are baseball players, so are professional athletes. So is some of that's just crazy. But hey, that's the market. They can get it. We're not boycotting the high ticket prices because that's where it comes from. So until we do that, we're never going to have any, it's never going to draw back to a reasonable place. I say that to say this, and this is where I'll close. Churches out there, we need to remember our calling. Whether you're a huge church, small church, doesn't matter. We need to remember our calling. Let's do that. Let's do it individually, as individual members of the body, the church, and as the church at large. We're seeing a lot of churches do amazing things nowadays. I want to say God bless you. Thank you for joining us. Please share this. Please go to Spreaker and subscribe. I would love it. Thank you for your time. God bless you. Stay strong. Remember, today's a great day to be alive.
Thank you for joining Dr. Sean today. Please follow Dr. Sean at www.drseangreener.com and on social media at facebook.com/smgreener, Twitter at The Ninja Pastor, and on Instagram at The Ninja Pastor. If you would like to support Dr. Sean's ministry and send Bibles around the world, don't forget to hit the donate page on drseangreener.com or go to paypal.me/Dr. Sean Greener to invest in spreading the Word of God to the world. And please download our free apps to listen to our Spreaker radio show. Thank you again for listening, and don't forget to share.